Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Prabhupada disappeared. Dari Guru Premanandi. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Savakaya Chakshurmilitana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Savitam Jana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Valita Shri Visakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Stute Taptakancha Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavan Sweetie Pranamami Hari Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Reading from Papa Language Introduction. Yes, at his room in the Chippewa temple, he typed day and night at his desk, beneath the small light that dangled on each cord from the ceiling. He sat on the thin mat on the floor, his typewriter before him on the trunk. Pages accumulated, and he kept them in place with stones. Food and sleep were only incidental. He was completely convinced that Srimad Bhagavatam would create a revolution in a misdirected civilization. Thus, he translated each word and wrote each purport with exacting care and concentration. But it had to be done as quickly as possible. Bhaktivedanta Swami had moved his Vrindavan residence to the Dhira Damodara temple. Now, without even leaving his room, he could look out and see the altar and the 4-foot-high form of Vrindavan Chandra, the black marble Krishna deity worshipped hundreds of years ago by Krishnadas Kaviraj. This was superior to his room at the Vamsi Gopalji temple, because now he was living in the temple of Jiva Goswami, where great souls like the Goswamis, Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunath, and Jiva had all gathered, taken prasadam, chanted, and discussed Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. This was the best place to work on Srimad Bhagavatam. While staying at the Dhira Damodara temple, Bhaktivedanta Swami would prepare his own meals. And as he sat to take prasadam, he could see through the lattice work the Samadhi tomb of Rupa Goswami. Feeling Rupa Goswami's presence, he would think of his own mission for his spiritual master. Bhaktivedanta Swami's spiritual master and the previous spiritual masters in the disciple succession had wanted that Krishna consciousness movement be spread all over the world. And as Bhaktivedanta Swami daily gathered inspiration, sitting before Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, he prayed to his spiritual predecessors for guidance. The intimate direction he received from them was an absolute dictation, and no government, no publisher, no anyone else could shake or diminish it. Rupa Goswami wanted him to go to the West. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted him to go to the West. And Krishna had arranged that he be brought to the Dhira Damodara temple to receive their blessings. At the Dhira Damodara temple, he felt he had entered an eternal residence, not only to pure devotees of the Lord. Yet, although they were allowing him to associate intimately with them in the place of their pastimes, he felt they were ordering him to leave Radha Damodara and Vrindavan, and to deliver the message of acharyas to forgetful parts of the world. Writing was only half the battle. The other half was publishing. The publishers, however, were not interested in the 60-volume Bhagavatam series, and Bhaktivedanta Swami was not interested in anything less. To publish his books, therefore, he would have to solicit donations and publish at his own expense. A printing contract advised Bhaktivedanta Swami to travel to Gorakhpur and sold his manuscript to Hanuman Prasad Pura, the famous religious publisher. Bhaktivedanta Swami took the 500-mile trip and obtained a donation of 4,000 rupees to be used towards the publication of his first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktivedanta Swami would read and correct the proofs himself. And even as the first volume was being printed, he was still writing the last chapters. When the proofs were ready at OK Press, he would pick them up, return to his room at Tipiwada, correct the proofs, and then return them. In 1962, he was walking daily back and forth between his room and the printers. The neighborhood was a blend of commercial business, tenement life, with children playing in the hazardous street. Bhaktivedanta Swami, a gentle-looking yet determined figure, would walk amidst this milieu. As he moved past the tenements, the tile sellers, the grain sellers, the street shops, the sweet shops, and the printers, overhead would be electrical wires, pigeons, and the cloth lines from the tenement balconies. Finally, he will arrive at OK Press, directly across from a small mosque. He will come to deliver the corrected proofs and to anxiously oversee the printing. When the printing was completed, Bhaktivedanta Swami out to sell his books, much as he had done with his Back to Godhead newspaper. He should obtain favorable reviews of the work from Hanuman Prasad Pura and from the renowned Hindu philosopher Dr. Radhakrishnan. The prestigious Adyar Library Bulletin gave a full review, noting the editor's vast and deep study of this subject. His scholarly godbrothers also wrote their appreciations. He even managed to secure an order for 18 copies from the U.S. Embassy to be distributed in America through the Library of Congress. Institutional sales were brisk, but then sales slowed. As the only agent, Bhaktivedanta Swami was spending hours daily just to sell a few copies. Also, he was entirely responsible for raising funds for the next volume. In the meantime, he continued translating and writing the purports. But at the present rate, with sales so slow, he would not be able to complete the work in his lifetime. Bhaktivedanta Swami sent copies to leading politicians and received favorable reviews from Sri Vishwanath Das, governor of Uttar Pradesh, and Dr. Kazim Hussain, the vice president of India. He also received a personal interview with Dr. Hussain, and a few months later got the opportunity to meet the Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri. This was a formal occasion in the garden of the Parliament building, where the Prime Minister, surrounded by his aides, received the elderly sadhu. Bhaktivedanta Swami, looking scholarly in his speeches, in his spectacles, stepped forward and introduced himself and his book, Srimad Bhagavatam. As he handed the Prime Minister a copy of one, a photographer snapped a photo of the author and the Prime Minister smiling over the book. The next day, Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote to Prime Minister Shastri. Soon he received a reply, personally signed by the Prime Minister. Dear Swamiji, many thanks for your letter. I am indeed grateful to you for presenting a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam to me. I do realize that you are doing valuable work. It will be a good idea if the libraries and the government institutions purchase copies of this book. Using favorable reviews as advertisement, Bhaktivedanta Swami visited prospective donors as he tried to raise funds for further volumes. Finally, with his manuscript in hand and with money to print it, he again entered the printing world, purchasing paper corresponding. Finally, with the manuscript in hand and with money to print it, he again entered the printing world, purchasing paper, correcting proofs, and keeping the printer on schedule so that his book would be finished on time. Thus, by his persistence, he who had almost no money of his own, managed to publish his third large hardbound volume within a little more than 2 years. At this rate, with his respect in the scholarly world increasing, Bhaktivedanta Swami might soon become a recognized figure amongst his countrymen. But he had his vision set on the West, and with the third volume now printed, he felt he was at last prepared. He was 69, and he would have to start soon. It had been more than 40 years since the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had first asked a young householder in Calcutta to preach Krishna consciousness in the West. The Prophet spent 40 years to prepare for his work. Can you see the level of his tolerance, his patience, the level of his dedication, his commitment? Taking his time without being discouraged for anything. Nothing discouraging. Nothing. Yes, it's not a surprise because these acharyas, they know the fronts. So they're not confused, they're not doubtful. We doubt sometimes because we don't know the end. We are just in the middle, so we don't know the end. So this doubt. But they know the end. So they know doubt. They continue to persist. Papa told one disciple, this case is hopeless, but I'm always hopeful. This Prabhupada is always hopeful. And he's always achieved his goal because he's hopeful. And he planned perfectly for it. He always succeeds. Always. Prabhupada is now 69. Going to a foreign place, he has practically no idea what is going to happen there. 40 years preparing. 69 years old. Now he has equipped himself for his work. At first, the young Abhay Charan had thought it impossible. The obstacle of family responsibilities, however, was now gone, and he was free to travel west, although penniless. With most difficulties removed, travel, fare, and certain items of government food. Travel fare and certain items of government permission remain as the last serious restrictions. Then, certainly in 1965, the final impediments were removed one after another. In Vrindavan, Bhaktivedanta Swami met Mr. Agarwal, a Mathura businessman, and mentioned to him in passing, as he did to almost everyone he met, that he wanted to go to the West. Although Mr. Agarwal had known Bhaktivedanta Swami for only a few months, He volunteered to try to get him a sponsor in America. By asking his son Gopal, an engineer in Pennsylvania, to send back a sponsorship form. When Mr. Agrawal volunteered to help in this way, Bhaktivedanta Swami urged him to please do so. Bhaktivedanta Swami returned to Delhi. Pursuing the usual avenues of book selling, looking for whatever opportunity might arise. One day, to his surprise, he was contacted by the Ministry of External Affairs and informed that his no objection certificate for traveling to the US was ready. Since he had not instigated any proceedings for leaving the country, he had to inquire from the ministry about what had happened. They showed him the statutory declaration form signed by Mr. Gopal Agrawal to Butler, Pennsylvania. Mr. Agrawal solemnly declared that he would bear the expenses of Bhaktivedanta Swami during his stay in the US. Now, Bhaktivedanta Swami had a sponsor, but he still needed the passport, visa, pay form, and travel fare. The passport was simple. Now, with the passport and sponsorship papers, Bhaktivedanta Swami went to Bombay, not to sell books or raise funds for printing, but to seek assistance in getting to America. He approached Sumati Moralji, the head of the Scindia steamship line, who had helped him with the large donation for printing volume 2 Srimad Bhagavatam. He showed his sponsorship papers to her secretary, Mr. Chokshi, who was impressed and went to Mrs. Moralji on his behalf. The Swami from Vrindavan is back, he told her. He has published his book on your donation. He has a sponsor and he wants to go to America. He wants you to send him on a Scindia ship. Mrs. Moralji said no. The Swamiji was too old to go to the United States and expect to accomplish anything. Mr. Chokshi conveyed to him Mrs. Moralji's words, but Bhaktivedanta Swami listened disapprovingly. She wanted him to stay in India and complete Srimad Bhagavatam. Why go to the United States? She had argued. Finish the job here. But Bhaktivedanta Swami was fixed on going. He told Mr. Chokshi to convince Mrs. Moralji and even coerce him on what to say. He coached him what to say. I find this gentleman very inspired to go to the States and preach Lord Krishna's message to the people there. But when Mr. Chokshi told Mrs. Moralji, she again said no, Swamiji was not healthy. Besides, people in America were not so cooperative, and they were probably not listening to him. Exasperated Mr. Chokshi's ineffectiveness, Exasperated with Mr. Choksi's ineffectiveness, Bhaktivedanta Swami demanded a personal interview. It was granted, and a grey-haired but determined Bhaktivedanta Swami presented his emphatic request. Please give me one ticket. Sumati Murarji was concerned. Swamiji, you are too old. You are taking this responsibility. Do you think it is all right? No, he reassured her, lifting his hand as if to reassure a doubting daughter. It is all right. But do you know what my secretaries think? They say Swamiji is going to die there. Bhaktivedanta Swami made a face as if to dismiss a foolish rumor. Again, he insisted that she give him a ticket. All right, she said, get your P form and I will make an arrangement to send you by our ship. Bhaktivedanta Swami smiled brilliantly and happily left her offices, past her amazed and skeptical clerks. Following Mrs. Morarji's instructions, the secretary made final arrangements. Since Bhaktivedanta Swami had no warm clothes, Mr. Chokshi took him to buy a wool jacket and other woolen clothes. At Bhaktivedanta Swami's request, Mr. Chokshi printed 500 copies of a small pamphlet containing the 8 verses written by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in an advertisement to Srimad Bhagavatam. Mrs. Morarji scheduled a place for him on one of her ships, the Jaladuta, which was sailing from Calcutta on August 18. She had made a certain that he would travel on a ship whose captain understood the needs of a vegetarian and a Brahmana. And she told the Juladuta's captain, Arun Pandya, to carry extra vegetables and food for the Swami. Mr. Chokshi spent the last 2 days with Bhaktivedanta Swami in Bombay, picking up the pamphlets at the press, purchasing clothes, and driving him to the station to catch the train for Calcutta. A few days before the Jaluta's departure, Bhaktivedanta Swami arrived in Calcutta. Although he had lived much of his life in the city, he now had nowhere to stay. It was as he had written in his Vrindavan Bhajan. I have my wife, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything, but I have no money, so they are a fruitless glory. Although in this same city he had been so carefully nurtured as a child, those days were gone forever. He stayed with a slight acquaintance and, the day before his departure, traveled to nearby Mayapur to visit the Samadhi tomb of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Then he returned to Calcutta. He was ready. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Determination. Determination. steadiness, fixing his purpose, and the faith in the holy name, in his spiritual master, and the supreme personality of Godhead. These are the ornaments Prabhupada decorate his life with. Therefore, he's always a successful person. He's always a success. No one will materially accept the sacrifice or the austerity he performed when there is nothing like, there's no hope. One cannot continue to do something on and on without success, and you keep doing it. The success is a sign to induce someone to continue. In Sotopa's case, success was zero. It was not to be looked at. Nothing expected. There's nothing like it. So what made him to continue is his Christian consciousness. As his Christian consciousness, he can see that he is following the normal process. What is the normal process of Krishna consciousness? What is the normal process of Krishna consciousness? What is the normal process of Krishna consciousness? Suffering, struggling alone without hope. That is what all our children must do. Struggle alone without hope. All this suffering, disappointment. Then at the line, everything, garden of paradise. Yes, on the journey before then, it doesn't look smooth. It doesn't look promising. So Acharya, they use their life to teach us what is expected. What is to be expected? Alone, disappointment from all directions. From the wife, the children, to the friends, to the work, even to God brothers. That was even the peak of the whole thing was the God brothers' disappointment. Serious disappointment. But he continued. So he wrote to one of his disciples, "My God brothers, they compressed me, they depressed me, they suppressed me. But I continued. Therefore, you should continue also the same way I continued, because the end result is always wonderful." That is the normal path of success in Christian consciousness. That one will struggle alone without support. What you get is criticism. People will criticize you. Why are you interested in this thing which is not possible? And what do you think? Why do you think that you can do this? What is your qualification to think that you can do something like this? These are meant for pure devotees. What is your qualification to do this? But our child, they are always showing. They didn't tell us that they are pure devotees. They didn't tell us that they are pure devotees. They didn't say that, and they won't say that. But their life shows that they are. They are. Because of their not being disturbed in any situation. They know the goal. So Papa knows the goal. Therefore, whatever happens only come to facilitate his Krishna consciousness. Yes. Not single encouragement, not even one single encouragement from anybody, from anybody. Even when he lost his business, it's okay, let me do some business. He got employed. The workers are always complaining about him every day. They will reporting him every day to the director. This man, what is he doing rather than to spend all their money? He gave their goods in credit, he's not getting back the money. And he makes him manager here. Every day is only report, complain about what they continue until nothing was coming, so he had to leave. Krishna is using him to teach us that we should depend on him. He was successful in his business. And even the job he got, he has experience. He will also be successful. But Krishna blocked everything. He blocked everything. Don't depend on me, you get everything. He depended on him and he got everything. He got disciples who loved him, who cared for him. They're ready to do anything for what? They're ready to do anything, and they did. They did everything. And Papa said this, they're doing it. When I went to Bori, and I was looking at the whole area, it is frightening. It is frightening. The whole area, people were saying it's frightening. Look at the people, like mad people. Yes, not just like they are drunk and lying down. It's more than that. It's more than that. And look at it. That is today, not 50 years ago. That is today. Most of them are like mad people. It's still there like that. It's a very rough area. It's a gentleman area. It's very rough. Very, very rough area. But Papa lived there peacefully and planted his International Society for Christian Consciousness, which has expanded all over the world. The seed was planted here. I also went to the tree. He was sitting on the chanting. The tree still there, and the folk musicians always have a concert there. The day we went there, some group of musicians they are preparing their stage. They have in the evening, they are preparing their stage. It's always very frequently visiting place, frequently visited places. People are always there. People are always there. Papa was there, planting the seed for the society. And when he planted the seed, Papa planted the seed of Christian consciousness, where he will spread Christian consciousness all over the world, in that place, in this fearful place. That's where he planted the seed. And it germinated and produced the fruit. Produce the fruits, which are doing now. Now you can celebrate Janmashtami, correct? Radhastami, Prabhupada, Gauri Purnima, Nitan Turusi, the singing Ram Navami. You can celebrate all these festivals We have celebrated this thing without Prabhupada. Now we can celebrate. Now you happen to order a second. All of you are so merge. So we would have done this without Prabhupada. Huh? He planted the seed with difficulty. He planted the seed with difficulty. And if you plant the seed, you don't expect all the seed are going to grow. The Prabhupada planted the seed that grew. And you carefully water it appropriately and saw it sprouted. Maintain it. Then we have Ratha Yatra everywhere. There is no single day you don't see Ratha Yatra festival around the world. No. In Malaysia alone, more than 54 Ratha Yatras. One time I was in Mauritius for 1 month, just December alone, 4 Ratha Yatras. 4. Just 1 month. 4. That means what? Every week there is Ratha Yatra. This corner, that place, this place, this place. Apart from the constant harinam that is going on, different branches. Different branches all over. All over Mauritius, you see this party, all harinam. They know a day will never pass without harinam. Everybody is very Mauritius. There's no day. You say, okay, there's no harinam. No, that doesn't exist. And Prabhupada did this. This is the seed he planted. And this is bearing the fruit. He planted the seed that is producing innumerable trees and fruits with ripened fruit, which is very succulent. The fruit is very succulent, tasty, juicy. You know? Yeah, dancing means what? You know, juicy? That is juice. They're tasty. Can you see someone dance to the disco without alcohol? Eh? Have you seen somebody dancing without some stimulants? You don't see that. The juice of a tree proper planted makes one to dance without any stimulant. The stimulant is Christian consciousness. That's power. How many years now that the person will go in this one? How many years? How many years? Yeah?
50 years.
Dr. Yetsa Festival. San Francisco. Which year was that? 67. 67 to 2025. How many years? 58 years. Doing what? Attracting people to see God. People cannot come inside. Christian is coming outside to meet people, to capture people. Is that a mistake? Is that a mistake? This is true compassion. Compassion, a person who cannot tolerate to see others suffer. That is Prabhupada. One who cannot tolerate to see others suffer. Out of compassion, he devised means to get people out of suffering. That is compassion. And that person can be only selfless. Selfless. When we say compassion, that would mean selfless person. Selfless. What will make Prabhupada to live Vrindavan? What will make him, what will take him out of Vrindavan? To look for money? Glorification? What reason can we give that yes, this is sufficient for Prabhupada to live in that one and come to a place he described as horrible? Horrible. Horrible place. He leaving heaven for horrible place. Who would like to go to hell? Our sinful activities can force us to go to hell. But Prabhupada is not going to hell, the horrible place for sinful activity. He's going there to go and deliver people from hell. That's the difference. So we will take him to go there if he has no compassion. We will take him to go to the horrible place. It is only selflessness whose heart is bleeding out of compassion that he could not tolerate to see people suffering. Therefore, he has to leave Goloka for hell. This is compassion. This is what you say compassion. Not because I give you clothes, because you are poor, I give you clothes. That is not compassion. You can't eat, I give you food to eat. That is not compassion. How long will you continue to give me food? Huh? How long? For this life, what will you give me next life? And also give me food, give me clothes, means what? I'm in hell. And telling me, don't worry, please be peaceful here. I will give you food and clothes. Don't worry, what else do you need? Is that compassion? That is what we consider charity. Someone is in the hellish planet, suffering. Don't worry, don't worry. I'll give you food. I'll give you food. I'll give you shelter. But Prabhupada did not do this nonsensical things. Come, I will take you from your hellish planet. I'll take you to your father. Who is the best? A person who takes us to our original father, or a person who continues to encourage us to remain in the hellish planet? Who is the most competent person among the two? That's Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Come, I will take you to your father. Jai Jagannath. You know? Taking you to Jagannath. Come on, don't stay here. We'll take you to original father. Where you don't need somebody to come and give you his or her used clothes. What people give to beggars. Things are not, I have need for it again. Okay, my God, it's done. Okay, take. You are useless. So you take my useless waste. My waste is for your good. Take. That is what people call charity. And that's the one thing. What the second thing? The second thing is, what am I doing the charity for? What am I doing this? I'm giving this thing for?
For my praise.
Okay, for my praise, glorification. Higher than that, I'm using you to go to heaven. Better sanctification. Come, I'll use you. Yeah, when you do piety, what happens? You go to heaven. So I'm using you. I can go to heaven. So my giving you credit is for you or for me? It's for me. This is what people are doing. Prabhupada did not do all these things. He said, come on, let me take to your father who will not give you down useless boga cloth. He will give you what? Eh?
Love.
Yes. He will give us everything. Pure love of Godhead. Do you need anything? Turn clothes and everything. What would you do with I want that? When Krishna left Vrindavan to Mathura, and then he didn't come back, and he sent valuable jewels, not gold, superior, to the gopis. And Nanda Maharaj, he gave them to the gopis. They took it and looked at it and looked at each other. You see this boy. So he want to exchange our love with this thing. This thing. See the behavior of this boy. What is this? See, trash. It's trash. They threw the thing away. What is delicacy? What we are meditating on? She tried to go with it. Nonsense. This black boy doesn't know how to behave. And Mother said, yeah, because Krishna was born in the wrong time, that's why he had bad behavior. Their bad behavior is from your father's side. Me, from my side, we are all simply people. This behavior from my father's side. They do like that in my village. The same thing. If a child misbehaves, they say, the mother will say, your father. And the father will say, it's a mother's side. They will blame each other. But when the boy behaves very good. Yes. This is my boy. It's nature. This is from there. It is from there, originally from there. So Prabhupada is taking us to our original father, where everything is abundant. Chintavani Prakara Sami Sukapa Priksha, Pasabriti Susura Dhira Damodara Lakshmi Sahasra Sada Sambrahma, Sevamanam, Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Come, I'll take you to where? Chintavani Tambisi Goluka. The Prabhupada is, this is what Prabhupada is doing. Taking us to the original father. How life would be like to join Krishna going to the forest to tend the cows. How is it like? Just think about that. That is what Prabhupada is doing for us. Is that wonderful? Huh? That is it. That's what Prabhupada is doing. He's giving us Krishna, our original father. Come on. Don't waste time here. There's nothing here but suffering. Give up all this patchwork. Come on. Go look at him. Be with your father. Dance with him in the night as Gopi. Go with him to the forest as Gopas. What else? What is it? You want something else? No intelligent person will look for something else. No intelligent person will look for something else. Everything culminates in Krishna. You get Krishna, and it's final. Everything is finished. What Prabhupada did, he gave this, he planted the seed that is producing this fruit for us to enjoy life. And after that, back to God is permanently. This he did alone. And it was very good that nobody supported him. Because if they have supported him, they will dilute it. Yes, Krishna knows how he does his things. He tells you who doesn't know and be complaining and be criticizing and do all kinds of offenses. Yes. Krishna knows how he protects. So when we have disappointment and no support, that's our experience. When we think, nobody is supporting me. But it's good that nobody is supporting, so you can depend on Krishna. Yes? No matter what somebody supports you, will control you. Yeah, but Krishna will not do that. Yes, I'm going to do like that. So you see, pure devotee, they struggle alone. When they succeeded, then they will call and join. That's our pattern. And Prabhupada showed this to us very easily. They show it very easily. I was compressed, depressed, and suppressed, but I continued. So let us continue till we get to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada. We are continuing till 12. So it's not only one person to speak. This is glorification for Srila Prabhupada. So if you have to glorify Prabhupada, this is my own. I'm not the only person here. We all have right to glorify Prabhupada. It's our right to do that. Not even glorifying Prabhupada, we are purifying ourselves. We talk about pure devotee. If you remember pure devotee, you pray to pure devotee, you get their qualities. This great Chandrasekhar Prabhu is our senior most here. So he started every first to join Guru Dev meeting. The first. You and Santa Maharaj, you said you're Santa Maharaj. Santa Maharaj. You. Yeah, he's first. Then Santa Maharaj. Yeah. So he's original devotee in West Africa. Very fortunate. Please glorify your child.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
No, Hare Krishna devotee.
Hare Krishna. Well, it's such a very interesting thing to talk about. One's mentor. Our mentor is Prabhupada. But the mentor of our mentor is Srila Prabhupada. So, Srila Prabhupada had not done what we did. How could our Guru Krishna Prabhupada have been able to, how could we have been able to benefit from, just like Maharaj said now, the sacrifice, the difficulty he underwent, just to make sure that he carried out its Guru's instructions to distribute Krishna consciousness and take plant the seed and then take Krishna consciousness to every nook and corner of the world. And we also saw how our Guru Krishna also took it up as a mission. I mean, time he came, first time he came, before he came, there were other three devotees that came before him, like Brahmananda Swami, then two other devotees that coincidentally met at Babs Sham Street, the first place that Indian people gave them upstairs. And I just saw them carrying books from the van upstairs. And that was the first day they were to come to install themselves there. I assisted them carrying the books. But then as I was carrying the books upstairs, then Brahmananda Swami then saw the secret in my hands. Oh, why is this smoking? That was never